Hello, and welcome to episode 6 of the BKS podcast with your host, Peter Lant, who should be seated right here. Hello. Okay, it's been a while since I did one of these. If you're watching this on YouTube, by the way, I am wearing a hat indoors, and there's why. Look at the state of that. So I'll just put that back on. My walk and talk hat. Anyway, it's been a while since I've done one of these, and I'd love there to be a reason, but it will just be a bunch of excuses. Now, I talk about excuses a lot with guys. I talk about it a lot online, on Facebook, all of the live videos I do, all of that sort of stuff. Because most of the stuff that we come up with and reasons not to do something are excuses. Okay, so the reason why I haven't done this podcast, I would say, is because I got a puppy in September, 5 months ago, 6 months ago nearly. I got a puppy in September and it's taken up a lot of my time. But these podcasts take 10 minutes, right? Obviously there's stuff to do in the background and everything, but they take 10 minutes. So it's just an excuse. Basically, the real reason is because I was worried that nobody was listening to them. Okay, now that doesn't really matter because the stuff I talk about in these podcasts help me out, as well as helping guys in their 40s get back in shape. That's what it's all about. And it's trying to have a conversation about that. So it doesn't matter if anyone listens or not, because it helps me. It helps me work things out. And if it can help me, it can help other people, right? But there's one way that I can be damn sure that nobody will be listening to this. And that's if I don't do it. Right? So that's ridiculous, isn't it? So think about this. When you want to get back in shape, you say, right, well, I'll try something. But I'm busy. I can't make it down there. I can't make it down to the gym. I haven't got any exercise equipment at home. I don't know how to do it. I haven't got time. I've got to get home to put the kids to bed. The kids want to be ferried about at weekends. All of that sort of stuff, right? So you'll make up all these excuses. I've got a new puppy, so I haven't got time. How ridiculous is that? All of these excuses. So then you're definitely not going to get back in shape, right? So you're not even going to wonder why. Other times, you'll start out, but then life will get in the way. You'll get busy. You'll go off track. And then you don't get in shape. And you go, well, I've tried and it didn't work. And it's like, well, you tried, but you kind of half-arsed it. Never half-arse it. Always use your whole arse. Anyway. And you'll get a better arse if you do like kettlebell swings and deadlifts and things like that. Anyway, if you work out, you'll get better arse. Put it that way. Does that matter? I think it does, because I used to have an old man saggy arse and now I haven't. But anyway, we'll not go into that. We'll not go into my arse. I pulled a funny face there because you'll be listening to this probably, and I pulled a funny face. I didn't say that seriously. Anyway, where was I going with this? Yes, so I asked the question to a bunch of guys in their 40s, and then I put an advert out on Facebook about this. So if you want to know this process that I use, I will put a link in to the Facebook link where you can get onto my email list and you can get a series of videos which will talk you through how to stay on track. Because I asked a bunch of fellas in their 40s, all my guys who I work with, I basically asked them, what's the biggest thing you struggle with? And this was mainly my online guys, because the guys who I train in person don't tend to struggle with this because I make them book in every Sunday when they're going to come. Okay? So they commit every week to getting back in shape. Okay? And that's all it takes. That's the plan. Right? But the problem is when you're on with guys I train online, with guys who I talk to on these podcasts, say, you might be doing it on your own. So then actually that commitment to doing things for that week, you might not do it. You might just go, I'm going to do some workouts this week. But if you don't say when, you won't know when you're going to do them, so they'll probably slide, okay? So this is what this Facebook link will be about. I'll put it in the notes. You can click on it. You can get onto my email list and you can get the video series that goes with this, okay? So I asked a bunch of guys in their 40s, what is the thing you find hardest about getting back in shape? What's your biggest struggle? Okay? And pretty much the top answer, but pretty much everyone who came back said this. And none of it was knowing what to do. None of it was knowing what to do. Because you know what to do. You know, you do some exercise, you eat better, you get some sleep. That's pretty much it. You know roughly what healthy looks like. Okay, most people do. A lot of other trainers and that'll tell you that that's all a load of crap as well. You don't know what healthy looks like. You think you know what healthy looks like, but then it's not actually really healthy because you'll still be eating like refined foods and blah blah and all that. Being healthy and being in shape are kind of two different things. Being ultimately truly ridiculously healthy is just eating clean all the time, blah 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 blah. But for your needs, it's probably losing a bit of weight and getting a bit fitter and just feeling a bit better about yourself. Okay, so let's talk about that. Now, when I asked this question, the number one answer pretty much everyone came back with was, when I'm on track, everything's easy. When I'm on track, this is all easy to do. There's no need for willpower, or I seem to have all the willpower in the world, is what they say, because people don't tend to say there's no need for willpower, which there isn't, by the way. But people tend to say, you know, I've got tons of willpower, everything's going well, all sorted. It's easy. But that only lasts 2 weeks, a month at the most. And this is from experience, like I say, with the guys who I train online. The guys who I train in person don't tend to have this because I make them commit. The guys online, I try to make them commit, but there's a bit more distance, so it's a bit tougher. And this was mainly what they said. When I go off track, so for a month, it's usually pretty easy. But then after that month, you've probably sacrificed something else, set some time aside to do what you're going to do. But then after that, you're like, well, actually, I've sacrificed, I don't know, something else that I do, or some time with the kids, or time with the family, or whatever it is, right? Or I've been finishing work at 5 o'clock when I usually finish at 6, and I can't do that for the rest of my time. Or I've been having longer lunches, or whatever it is, okay? You might say, well, I've done that for a month, but I can't carry on doing that. So therefore, you go off track. But once you're off track, that is the biggest struggle that people have when they go off track, is getting back on track, because then you get used to and you get into the habit of not doing exercise again, which is way easier. It's way easier to form a habit of not doing something than it is to form a habit of doing something. So just think about that. It's way easier. It's the easy option to form a habit not to do something, to avoid something, than it is to actually do it. Whereas the fulfillment comes out of actually doing the thing. If you avoid something, you get no fulfillment. You probably lose sleep over it. You get anxious about it. We were talking about that this very morning, at the BKS session, actually, in the park. And one of the guys, he goes, he didn't turn up last Friday. He'd committed to come, but he didn't turn up because he didn't get any sleep. And he said, I value my sleep more than the getting in shape thing at the moment, which is fine because he is in shape. But then he said he didn't get any sleep over the weekend. He didn't sleep Monday night. He didn't sleep Sunday night. He didn't sleep Monday night. It's Tuesday today. And he said, I'm feeling anxious for some reason. He didn't know why. And it's like, okay, well, at least you've identified that and that's cool. But there'll be a reason, right? So, if you're feeling anxious about getting in shape, but you're not getting in shape, that kind of feeds, that's self-fulfilling. Then the anxiety builds because you're not doing the thing, because you're avoiding it. And if you avoid doing something positive, something that you think will make you feel better, you're going to get anxiety about it, okay? It might even be making you anxious listening to this. I get anxious about doing this, for God's sake, because I'm not comfortable doing it. But anyway, so this Facebook ad that I've put out, I hate doing Facebook ads as well. I get anxious about those because these podcasts, Facebook ads, everything. I'm putting myself out there, and I could get loads and loads of ridicule, right? I would say I don't care about that, but that's not true. Of course I care about it, right? And it hurts sometimes, but you've just got to get over it, right? Because if you didn't do anything that you were going to get ridiculed for, you'd never get anything done as well, right? And then anxiety would build, blah, 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 blah. See how all this works. So this ad that I've put out, I'm going to put a link to it in here. Click the link, and you will get onto my email list. You will get the weekly battle plan, which I just happen to have lying right next to me. That wasn't staged, by the way. I have that here. So this is what I use to keep myself on track. It's what the guys use to keep themselves on track. It's a points-based system, very simple. You will get that. I'll talk you through how to use it. I'll also, so the video series goes, the video series goes, weekly battle plan. Basically, you wouldn't be able to see that on the podcast, but you can hear it. Look, this is what it sounds like. It's a bit of paper. So, it's a weekly battle plan. You fill in what you're going to do that week. One thing. There's only one thing. That one thing might be go for a 5-minute walk. It might be drink 2 litres of water every day. It might be like get 8 hours sleep if you can a night. It might be do 3 sessions that week. Do some stretching. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. It might even be go for a walk at lunchtime at work or finish work at a reasonable time so I can get home in time to do the thing that I need to do, or go to a park and do some shuttle runs or something. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So it's basically you get the weekly battle plan in that first email to say, here's what to do. Then there's another video on goal setting, which also comes with a link to an article that I wrote on Medium on goal setting, and that's how to set your goal. Because if you haven't got a goal, then you're going to feel like you're doing this for no reason. And then you're also not going to know how you've progressed, okay? So you'll go and do the thing that you want to do, but then you'll be like, well, after a week or two, how am I making progress? You might feel fitter, you might feel better, but how do you then progress that? Because progress always has to keep happening, okay? So that'll be on goal setting. So then you know what your goal is for a month's time, say. And then you know what your ultimate goal wants to be, but that's probably way down the line. So you just set like smaller goals. You set a goal for what you're going to do next week, and a goal for what's going to happen by the end of the month, and then a goal further on. But basically, you'll be looking at your monthly goals. Bring that into what you need to do next week for that, or this week, and then bring that into what you need to do today, right? So then it's like, well, what do I need to do today? So for me, it was this podcast, which I'm doing right now. I'm just going to have a drink of coffee. Excuse me. Slurpy, slurpy. That was for the people listening, so you could hear that. I don't usually drink my coffee like that. Anyway. So then you got your goal setting, and then there'll be another video. So there's 3 things that we look at: is fitness, food, and focus. Right. So fitness, doing some exercise, getting back in shape, and a bit of mobility, just moving every day. Not exercising in formal every day. You might, like I say, it might just be go for a walk, just some movement. Food. So that is, I'll say eating well and drinking 2 litres of water a day. But eating well, it means different to everybody, right? It means a different thing to everybody. Depends where you're coming from. So I'll go a bit more into that. And then there's focus, okay? Which is getting a decent night's kip. Having a fish oil capsule every day, pretty much, because that's a good habit to get into, especially if you're a guy in your 40s, because it's good for your joints and brain health. Maybe it's 2 fish oil capsules every day. It's just a good thing to get into. But I also talk about meditation. So there's 3 videos that I do on that. So the first video is the weekly battle plan, how to use it, how to plan, which will keep you on track. The second video is goal setting. Then there's a video on fitness, a video on food, a video on focus. Then there's another video on how to take all of that forwards on the weekly battle plan. So you plan what you're going to do this week, and then you do a review of the week. This all takes 5 minutes, by the way. You can do it on a Sunday. You do a review of the week, and then look at how you take that into next week. What worked well? Brilliant. I'll carry on doing that. What didn't work so well? Okay, I'll focus on that this week. And then it breeds progress. Okay? And then at the end of all that, you get an invite into my 28-day online challenge. Or you can you can come to one of the 2-week trials of the park or whatever. It's up to you, if you live in Bath, that is. So, there we have it. That's the entire process. So the question was, what's the biggest thing you struggle with when trying to get back in shape? And the answer was, staying on track when I fall off track. When I go off the rails, getting back on. So, I've just given you the answer. It's all in that email sequence. So, hit the Facebook link. Okay, the advert, and I'll let you know this now, when you do that, there's actually a step where you say it's okay to receive emails from BKS. For some reason, when you click on that advert and you say it's okay to share, it goes into your feed. As soon as you click the button, it'll just automatically put you onto my email list. So just beware of that. If you don't want the emails, don't do that. Okay? Just to let you know that. So, I think that's got me. I think I've covered my own arse there. My whole arse, not my half arse, my whole arse. So, there we have it. If you have any questions, hit me up. You can reply to one of the emails if you get on our email list. You can hit me up on Facebook. There's various different ways of doing it. If you want to get in touch, that's cool. My email address is peter@bathkettlebellsociety.co.uk. Give us a like, give us a share of this podcast if you want. It'll go out on Facebook and Instagram and all those sorts of things. If you have a look, you can download my book from Amazon. It costs 99p, and that's how to do the kettlebell swing, which will give you a whole arse. And share it with your friends if you think it's valuable. Let's get the conversation going. Excellent. Talk to you on the next one.